Hi, I'm Ariel.
And I'm Becca.
And welcome to Wine Wednesdays. So we're so happy to be back, guys.
Yes, today is another fun episode and maybe a bit different from what you guys can see on your screen. We are actually going to be doing more of like a podcast role for some episodes and changing it up so that you guys can drink your wine with us, whether you're at home on the porch or going for a drive on your way to work, and see how we can help you.
Absolutely. So today we're going to get started with talking about what to splurge on versus what to save or skip.
Yes.
So to get started, we always say that you should absolutely, without a doubt, splurge on your wedding photography and wedding videography. Now, when it comes to the photographer, it's a no-brainer, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, photography.
Photos are tangible, and they're the best takeaway from your wedding day. And you might want to hang them up in your house or in an album and such. So that's definitely something that you don't want to skimp out on for sure. Again, there's some companies out there that you can, bundle all together with your, photo booth or your DJ. That's not the way to go. Have a person that specializes specifically in these categories. So when it comes to your videographer, that's another one to definitely, wouldn't you agree, to definitely have and splurge on?
Splurge on that for sure.
Because essentially, those are your voice memories of the day, of your family, of your friends, from toasts to dancing, and so on and so forth. All those little moments are captured on video and camera.
Exactly, yeah. So those are definitely some things to splurge on, your photographer and videographer. But if you're looking for a way to save within those areas, I would definitely recommend doing either like a photo booth instead of going crazy with your photographer. And for videography, we love highlight reels. I feel like it's coming back as like one of the main wedding video things.
Absolutely. Again, nobody wants to sit and watch a 30 to 40 minute video, or if they do, that's awesome. You should be, especially if you're spending the money. But, realistically, how many times are you going to really watch that video?
Yeah, you want something fun, maybe with some music, some, overlays of different speeches or vows over the video, and then just like fun dancing and really cute shots. I think people think traditionally that wedding videos are like you're sitting down watching people come down the line for the ceremony or listening to the whole entire thing. And that still can be recorded, especially if you're at a church, but it's less common to be your wedding video on that route.
Not to knock anybody's religion and any ceremony that they want to do, but if it were me, I don't know that I want to watch a 2-hour Catholic ceremony again. Again, these are monumental moments. Again, also, in general, your wedding is a benchmark of a story that's already being written. That's always what we say.
Yep.
So, in general, it's good to have something to capture that, but you might be fine with just a photographer.
Right.
You might want to have something extra. Sometimes your photographers will even kindly, like Rebecca here, she does our photography and videography, but she'll do like a little tiny highlight reel in addition to doing mainly photography for you. So sometimes if you can find that might even save you some money too.
Yeah, that's a good deal. So what's next? What's the next splurge?
So the next splurge would be your wedding planner and or wedding coordinator. So without a doubt, your wedding day is going to be stressful. And you don't want to be disappointed and stressed. That's like a double whammy of like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
So a wedding planner is always a must. Again, when you're looking for a wedding planner, always look for somebody who's going to be able to not only capture your vision, but who's also going to be like your best friend on your day. Because not only you're going to feel comfortable passing off the reins to them, but you're going to have I don't even know if it's security. What would you say? It's more like again, it's comfort. It's just that, I guess,
lack of anxiety, like
exactly, 100%. But it's also just that feeling that you're in good hands, and that no matter what, not only are your vendors going to be aware if anything gets off track, but also all your decor is going to be set up properly, because your vending coordinator doesn't do that, even though sometimes they say they will, they don't. And also, they should be focusing on the venue and how that runs and making sure that everybody knows where they're going or where they shouldn't be going, and also that the food comes out right. So.
Yep. For sure. And I guess the next save or skip where you can kind of tighten up the purse strings if you need to do that is your wedding favors. People either are so drunk by the end of the night that they don't grab the favor, and we are like constantly running around being like, don't forget this, or it's later thrown in a kitchen drawer for no purpose, really. So unless you have a really good favor that you had in mind that you think people will use or that you're really excited about, I would say find a way to incorporate something for them for the wedding, whether that's, a bar tab that they can, enjoy the whole night, or finding creative ways that they can actually enjoy it and feel that their wedding favor is already happening during the day.
Absolutely. And again, the fact that they're invited to the wedding is also just, plenty. You don't have to, go crazy with it. I mean, a lot of times you run into, we need to rent another table to put the favors out. Or do I put them at the place setting? Do I not put them at the place setting? And 9 out of 10 times, people forget the favors. Mm-hmm. So another great idea, I didn't even think about this until right now, was, maybe doing flip-flops as a favor.
Oh.
Everybody loves dancing shoes, especially when you're wearing heels as a woman, or even heel guards.
Yeah,
those are good favors. I mean, every time I see them at a wedding that I attend, which is very minimal, but whenever I see them, I absolutely need to grab a pair, whether it's flip-flops or, heel guards. And again,
if you guys don't know what heel guards are, I don't know, they're kind of new. We just found out about them, but they're these little silicone, I guess, plastic things you put on your heel so that you can wear heels in the grass.
Absolutely.
It's really cool.
It is, 100%. But also, there's all different sizes. So if you don't know about them, definitely Google them. I'm sure Amazon has some and everything. Shout out to Amazon.
Of course.
But 100%, you should be able to, find all the different sizes. And just also, if you are a bride planning on wearing heel guards for your wedding day, test them out. Make sure that they fit the heel that you're going to wear. 100%, because I've had a couple brides lose them as they're walking down the aisle.
I know.
Super awkward, but nobody's fallen yet, so.
Yeah.
So the next item that we would say absolutely without a doubt splurge on is florals and floral installations. Now, many brides nowadays are trying to save on flowers, and they're considering doing artificial. That's fine if that's the route that you want to go. But there's something to be said about walking in as a guest and seeing a major floral installation to welcome them, or in your reception space. It literally brings everything to life, and it's worth every single penny. 1,000,000,000%. There's other ways you can also save, when it comes to florals, which Rebecca will talk about momentarily, but it's so dramatic and it's so necessary to do real flower installations. Your guests will love it. It'll bring everything regarding your vision together. And again, you can go simplistic on everything else, but the floral installation will make it feel like va-va-voom.
Yeah, for sure. And that's where you can save in not only just lessening your flowers throughout the centerpieces or, just like random ones placed throughout the venue. Totally try to just utilize your ceremony florals. They can definitely be repurposed. So
without a doubt.
That's a great thing to keep in mind, especially when you're talking to your florist about your ceremony plan. Make sure someone this is huge. Make sure someone is able to come back and drive the flowers back and repurpose them. Usually your coordinator would help with that as well. And if the florist stays, they can help too. But that's a great way to save. Or you can just really go crazy with your, your tea lights and your candles and tapers and all of that, and then maybe like some garlands. So keeping everything else simplistic, like Ariel said, but having those larger installation pieces can
really
honestly
bring everything.
Yeah, you won't need much decor with those.
No, it elevates everything. But again, also, in what Rebecca said, a lot of couples nowadays aren't even doing, major big centerpieces or tall centerpieces. They're doing more bud vases or just complete candles. Now, when it comes to candles, of course, make sure that you check with your venue for any, regulations regarding open flame policies and such, because you don't want to get to your wedding day having a full plan and then find out that you can't have candles or they have to be LED candles. So that's a big, big thing. But again, those are just some ways to save money. Unless you're in the higher caliber where you can just spend.
Yeah, that's the dream with all of these.
Of course. A lot of our brides are like that.
I know.
Where flowers are the biggest piece of the wedding. But as Rebecca said, repurposing is key. So whether it comes from the ceremony, or even when it comes to bar arrangements, we move them around and, we'll put them from your cocktail hour bar to your reception bar. Again, there's so many different ways. And if you would want to know more, we can absolutely do, I guess, another episode on that.
Yeah, we definitely should.
So the next thing that, in regards to splurging on is your bridal makeup, bride's hair and makeup. 1,000,000% that is a top key piece.
You have to look good.
You have to look good. I mean, it's a no-brainer. So that is 100% the key when it comes to your day, especially as a bride. You want to feel gorgeous. You want to feel beautiful. And that brings it all together. Hire someone for it. Don't leave it up to you doing it yourself because, it would take me like 6 hours to do my makeup. And it normally doesn't take that long ever, but it's my wedding day. Yeah. So 1,000,000%.
Yeah, definitely. Especially with eyelashes. Like, make sure they're giving you the best makeup ever and the best hair ever. You don't want to just look like, well, some brides don't care, and honestly, more power to you, that's great, but I want to look glam.
So those people would be the exception, not the rule.
Right.
1,000,000%.
If
you're gorgeous, exactly. But if you're the one person that has beautiful skin and you can literally look glam without makeup,
or just doesn't care,
we love to hate you.
Seriously.
I'm jealous as hell.
Me
so
too.
I'm going to just call it as I see it. And I'm jealous and milk it.
I know.
Milk it. But again, a little bit of something. Just don't stress out about it. And, that even goes to your bridal party too. They are a reflection. They're going to be standing up there with you. They are a reflection of you as well. And they are your people. You don't want to be, all glammed up and then your bridesmaids don't match that same, aesthetic.
For sure. Yeah, I think, and then the place I would save in that area is just the bridal accessories. That could mean, your tons of necklaces and bracelets and jewelry. Like, don't go crazy with that. It's really, honestly, too much depending on your dress sometimes. And that's just not what you should be spending a lot of your money on, especially with bridal, like, perfume and shoes. That's a huge one.
Oh my God, shoes is a major one.
Yeah, they're both spending so much. Brides are spending so much on both shoes and perfume. And I'm like, that's just so stupid in my opinion, because the shoes, they're probably going to be uncomfortable if they're,
too expensive. The more that's a myth that the more expensive the shoe is, the more comfortable they are.
No, it is the opposite.
Absolutely the opposite. The more expensive they are, the more that they collect dust on your shelf.
Exactly.
At least in my house, that's the way it is.
And your dress is most likely going to cover your shoes, so there's really no need to do that.
Exactly. You might just need one shoe. Okay,
yeah.
You don't need it all. But also when it comes to your wedding day, you don't want to be uncomfortable. Okay, that's a big thing. But also on the side note, hint, hint, definitely break in your shoes, no matter which ones they are, at least a month before your wedding. Yeah. Get those blisters all figured out. You don't want to have blisters and be like, I don't know, like walking like you have, excuse my French, stick up your ass because your feet hurt so bad. Yeah. There's something to be said about, wearing brides, custom sneakers that have pearls on them, or they have, rhinestones on them. A lot of brides are doing that nowadays, and they're even getting them customized, which, if you're interested in something like that, I know that Converse is putting out wedding shoes where they customize. I think you can put, like, the date on them or something.
That's cute.
Yeah.
I would, literally never wear them again, but I love that idea.
Absolutely. Again, but those are, like, your memorabilia.
I know. Yeah, you can put them in your, like, closet or whatever and frame them, put them in a box.
You could even have them as a guest book, now thinking about it, and then wear them later on when your feet hurt.
Yeah, that's kind of fun.
Hey. There we go.
Austin events.
I know. Woohoo.
Okay, next splurge, Ariel. Tell us number 9.
Music for your wedding. A lot of couples, post-COVID have been saying, well, I'll just have a playlist. It doesn't work. You don't want to be managing that, because you also have to remember that your musician or the DJ is basically, not channeling the tone, but is literally, running the wedding as it goes to the musical aesthetic. So, they're gonna, let you know when it's your entrance, make a big deal about it, which, as you should, you're a new married couple. But also, they're going to guide the guests as well. So when it's time to sit down, they're going to guide them to take their seats. Yeah. They're going to guide guests to, get up and dance. They definitely dictate the tone of the night.
Yeah.
Whether that's a band or a DJ. But you don't want to stimp out on it. Nobody wants to be sitting at their sweetheart table next on a song. I mean, I have ADD music brain, so I can't listen to a full song, unless I'm in that mood.
Yeah,
unless it's like a throwback.
I always
jam.
skip.
Yeah, exactly. So definitely don't stimp out on that. Again, even if it's something just for the ceremony or cocktail hour. I mean, even for both of those, you could do a playlist. But when it comes to your reception, absolutely not. You should definitely have somebody, helping you out and running that.
Yeah, for sure. And the place where you can save, it's sort of related, but not really, your drinks. Not saying that you should do a dry wedding, unless that's what you want, but hey, Wine Wednesdays, we love our wine and our liquor.
Absolutely.
So not necessarily saying that, but skip your overly complicated specialty cocktails, or you could do, a specialty cocktail that's not as intense. But if you have really crazy cocktail ideas that are slowing down the bar service and honestly ruining the vibe of the night, nobody wants to be standing in line the whole night. And I know that's kind of a given. You're kind of doing that regardless at a wedding. But it's just a lot more extra garnishes that you have to purchase and different liquors and different, it depends how crazy you're getting with it, but
not everybody likes them either.
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah,
some people are stuck in their ways. They either want, wine, or they want, Jack and Coke or something along those lines. They don't want something that's fruity, like a lavender lemonade.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you really want to do that, because I'm kind of like a specialty cocktail girl, have it for ceremony, ceremony specialty cocktails. We're going to shut this cocktail down after, or, have something that's a little bit more chill, like Prosecco with a sparkling thing inside of it. I don't know, something that they already have on deck. Yeah. It's not too crazy.
Also, when to think about whether to do a specialty cocktail or not, maybe it's something to say when you go to a restaurant, do you order off their specialty menu or not? If you're not as adventurous like me, because I don't want to get a drink that I have to pay for that I don't like, then maybe that isn't the route that you go. Maybe it's something that you keep it basic or keep it just as an open bar, or even when it comes to your bar, I would say upgrade and have 2 bars versus 1, but also maybe you do beer and wine versus a complete open bar. Or again, another way to also save is instead of going top shelf, go, just 1 lower or 2 lower, or I guess also is a very cheap way. But even so, when it comes to your venues, some of them allow you to do BYO, which is a saving grace in itself, because you never know what really everything costs when it comes to a venue. And I'm sorry, I'm not knocking any venues by any means or any caterers that do offer alcohol. I literally commend you, because it does make our lives a lot easier, especially clients' lives a little easier.
Yeah.
But there's no real math calculation onto it.
And there's a lot left over that the venue just still keeps, the venue will charge you for that, whereas, some venues, but, you can go to a distributor where you don't have to pay tax, and you can, actually return, what's that company called? You can return the liquor.
Oh, we'll definitely put some information for some other companies that do that. But again, we're located in Pennsylvania. By no means are we saying let's go to Delaware and buy it and then travel over the border. That is actually illegal. But
we're saying basically what you want to do is you want to find a company you can work with. There's tons that we work with that actually do help with that, so that if you have leftover, you're not being charged for that extra.
Yeah, they'll deliver it, and then anything that's unopened, they'll actually take it back and then credit you back. So that's a great service. If you know anybody who does that, or if any companies would allow that, definitely go that route for sure, because it's also cheaper, and you're not wasting money on extra alcohol. But when it does come to purchasing your own alcohol, buy more than what you really think that you're going to need, because 9 out of 10 times, especially for weddings where people are getting married on their own residence, they run out. So every time I go out for a site visit, I always make sure that I find the nearest liquor store, or I find the nearest grocery store, so if we do run out of something, we can replenish. But that's just us as planners. Not every planner will do that for you.
Yeah,
but
differs.
Always go above. And also, alcohol doesn't really ever go bad necessarily. I mean, you could give it as gifts. You could, drink it, following your wedding. Especially if your wedding comes somewhere near the holidays. It's always a good gift for, other people. And it's something you don't even have to think about.
Exactly.
So the next item that you should absolutely, without a doubt, splurge on is the food. And that also goes hand in hand with the food service.
Yes.
So when it comes to the service, it doesn't matter how great the food is. If it's cold and it comes out late, it wouldn't ever matter. Exactly.
Yeah.
It wouldn't ever matter. People don't like that.
Yeah.
But again, this is the food that you're going to be feeding to your guests, okay? Whether they've chosen that or it's going to be buffet style or family style, they're looking forward to the food. A lot of times people will do nowadays, I think that you can attest to this too, that they'll do like a cocktail reception.
Yeah.
It works in some cases, but usually people are getting boozed up during cocktail hour. If you're offering them a prelude beverage before ceremony, they're going to be boozed up. And so they're going to need that actual meal to get them through the rest of the night to continue. You don't want to have people getting super sick or not being malnourished and things like that. And, there's something to be said about really good food at a wedding.
For sure.
I'll never, when the food's really good, I'll never forget that wedding.
Exactly.
I know that sounds, crazy because I'm sure that, anybody listening would be like, what did I have at the last wedding?
I know.
I mean, but there's something to be said. If the food is phenomenal, without a doubt, you're going to remember it.
Yeah, absolutely. A place you can save or skip on wedding invitations. So that doesn't mean you can't send out wedding invitations. I mean, obviously, you need to let them know, whether that's a website, the invitation itself. But basically, your RSVP cards, envelopes, postage, they all start to add up a lot. And if you're doing all of that, that's great. Some people will even do like what is it called? Like a wax seal.
Oh, absolutely. They're gorgeous.
Which is really, really pretty. But don't go crazy with all of that because it does add up to a lot. I know you could just do a QR code at the bottom of your invitation and just make it really simple where all of those extra documents would come from of what's happening, out of town guests, different options. So just make sure you're managing the invitations well, and then also link your custom wedding website to make the RSVP process much simpler and smoother so that your guests, they don't even look at the invitation anyway. I think sometimes they just throw it away.
Yeah. Again, also, I think you said this already, but if you didn't, all those extra detail cards.
Yeah,
they're not necessary. You don't need to do a map, okay? Let them get to the venue. But also use your wedding website as your main key. I mean, you should be using that. You're putting all that time into it. Direct them right to that because that's where all the most current information that you're going to be able to or going to need to relay to them is going to be located.
Yes.
And finally, this is kind of a case by case, but sometimes, if this is something that interests you, but maybe splurge on some additional lighting for your reception, as it could transform, the reception space. It's not necessarily a must-have on our books, but, some people do think that is necessary to really get the tone. If you're a big dancing group, without a doubt, I would suggest it, but it isn't necessary in the retrospect of the must splurges versus the must saves. It could be even like an added on element as well. Sometimes your band and DJ actually offer them in addition without extra charge, or maybe there is an extra minimal charge to it. But don't go crazy. Like another thing, don't splurge. Sorry, I'm jumping ahead here. Don't splurge on a runner for your ceremony. It blows away. It's never what you think it's going to be. And it's literally more of a hassle for the bride, any bridal party walking on it. It's a tripping hazard as well.
It is.
So I totally forgot to add that one in our list, but just rendering off, talking about the lighting.
It's so easy to think about all the different things that we've seen as a waste at weddings, and we feel bad or seen as a hazard, like you said. So, yeah, don't feel like you need to go overboard with, if it's, a reception is tented with, crazy stuff in the tent. If it's at a venue, the venue should speak for itself. There's a way to be able to bring your own personal touch and make your wedding feel like home. We have a Wine Wednesday episode on that. I think it's called Ways to Make Your Wedding Feel Comfy and Cozy, of different ways that you can do that. But you don't want to overdo it. That is the biggest thing, is that don't spend all this money on decorations that people won't even notice, like, halfway through when they're drunk and wanting to get back on the dance floor. They're not going to step over and look at a memory table for 45 minutes. I mean, I think memory tables are great.
They're very important when it comes to somebody that is very close to you.
Yeah.
You don't need to have the whole family who, passed away on a table. But even in the same breath, these are personal touches that those are your decision whether to, have them or not. But again, every little detail does count in retrospect. Yeah. And that's something that, we help our brides with. We make sure that, they're trying to stay within budget. But if you have, the budget to have these extra added on items, go for it. Mm-hmm. I mean, more power to you. Not everybody has the same luxury and can, afford to splurge on X, Y, and Z. Now, again, at the end of the day, I think I kind of said this just a moment ago, but it is your decision ultimately and, entirely your decision. We never tell our clients they can't have something or they can't do something, what have you. We try to guide them into, is this something that you're really going to want? Is this something that you really, is something that's, not necessarily needed? Mm-hmm. And again, even when it comes to the signage, you don't need to go crazy with signage.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be at every corner, I guess the most important signage, would say like the welcome sign, the table numbers,
yes.
Seating chart.
Yeah.
Would you say anything else for that?
If you have at your ceremony, like an unplugged ceremony, making sure people aren't snapping their phones out. But
yeah.
They always do.
But you can save on that and have your officiant or somebody make an announcement.
Rather than having a sign up.
Rather than having a sign, because sometimes people just miss it. It
doesn't matter how big it is. And it's an extra reminder that when the officiant's staring you down, being like, please do not take pictures.
Yeah. I actually saw a really great idea just the other day when I was, browsing on Instagram or social media or whatever. Maybe get down the aisle, then have the officiant have the couple get close for a photo. Have everybody grab a photo just to start. Then ask them to put their phones away. It allows everybody to get what they want.
That's true.
And then that's it.
But what about the candids and all that? Aunt Susie wants all the every 5 seconds.
Aunt Susie can wait till the photo album comes out. I mean, good Lord.
I like that idea, though. Maybe, actually, my friend did that at her wedding. She had, the officiant said, take a picture of Emily and John right now, and then take a selfie of the people you're sitting next to, and then send it to them. So,
That's a great idea.
Yeah, like a little selfie, and then they can see who is sitting there. But it's just too much, especially, when you're trying to get in the photographer's shot. I know as a photographer, I've had to edit out so many phones in my pictures.
Yeah, and nobody wants, if you've ever seen, there's, photos on Google or, even Pinterest, I guess. Not really Google. But if you see from an aerial view of people with their phones, it just looks horrible. So, as a guest, be respectful and mindful.
I love how you're saying this because you literally did the opposite at that one wedding. And
I got okay, I did it for one wedding. Yes, I did it for one wedding. I sat on so also another good pro tip is switching sides. So if you're on as the family members, if you're technically on the groom side, sit on the bride side. You're going to get a better view of the groom and the groomsmen.
I know. I don't know why they don't do that.
I don't know why. Well, I do now because it's better. But yes, I did take one photo at this one wedding when they were kissing, because all the big photos that somebody had been getting, the photographer had been getting and the videographer had been getting had already come through, and they were down the aisle already at that point, so I wasn't in their shot. And the photo that I took, yes, there was an unplugged sign, and I'm basically kind of kicking myself in the butt right now, but
it was a great picture.
It ended up being the photo that they used for everything. Actually, some other guest tried to take credit for it. And I had sent it to the bride. Oh, my gosh. And she was like, nice try.
Picture.
Yeah, nice try, but I already know who took this photo because she showed it to me on my wedding night, and I sent it to her. So, nice trying to take credit for this photo.
Just do it tastefully if you're going to do that.
Yeah, don't stand up, put your phone all the way up, and above your head and do that. That's
people
so rude.
should know too. It's mostly the older generation.
Yeah,
that doesn't really get it.
You know what's crazy is just like how you don't touch the centerpiece at a wedding, don't take your phone out.
I know.
But anywho, So we hope that you enjoyed and you learned a little bit about maybe some suggestions, whether to splurge or save on things. Again, if you did want to know more information, don't hesitate. You can absolutely contact us at hello@arielashtonevents.com, or you can contact us on Instagram or Facebook.
Yeah.
We're not on Pinterest yet, but you never know what can happen.
Yeah, you never know what's going to happen. But be sure to like and subscribe and follow us for more, and we will see you guys
Next week.
Bye.
Bye.